Hey everybody, it's Tim Scher. Welcome to another master class. So today we're talking about how to use transformational vocabulary to upgrade the quality of your life and how to use it in a way that doesn't feel phony. Right? A lot of times people will try to use positive thinking or cognitive behavioral therapy, or we're trying to be more optimistic. Right. And a lot of times we're telling ourselves, oh, things are going to be okay, or it's not so bad, or things are going to work out. And then this little voice in your mind says, yeah, right, that's never going to happen. You're fooling yourself. You're in denial. The world sucks. Right. And so whatever you focus on, you move towards. A lot of times people are complaining about the weeds in their garden, not realizing that that's what they're watering. You can focus on growing flowers or watering weeds. And a lot of times what we do is we're watering those weeds by focusing on what's going wrong. So transformational language allows you to use words and phrases that actually shift how you feel emotionally, right? Instead of trying to talk you into a feeling or into, being a certain way, what if you could just feel that way? Right? What if you could just feel more calm? What if you could feel more confident or more self-assured, or have more certainty in your life, or be more resilient, or have the ability to focus and follow through easier? Well, you can do that by programming your mind to feel the way that you want to feel, so that you're able to take actions in the way that you want to, because your behavior is being dictated by how you feel. And how you feel is being influenced all the time by what you're saying to yourself. And a lot of times we're sabotaging ourselves and we don't even know that we're doing it, right? We're not aware that the story we're telling ourselves is actually causing how we feel, and not the situation itself. It's not what shows up. It's how you show up. It's how you interpret the situation. It's what you tell yourself about the situation that influences how you feel and how you behave, or how you respond or react. And so using transformational language transforms your life. It allows you to triumph over any situation. It allows you to feel happy, relaxed, resourceful, confident, even if those around you are not in that space. It's okay for you to feel good, even if those around you aren't feeling that great, because a lot of times that's their stuff. And I had a friend tell me the other day, he said, when you're on a plane and the oxygen mask fall down, you got to put it on yourself first before you help anybody else. Because if you pass out or die, you're not going to be there for anybody. And so sometimes people think they're being selfish by putting that oxygen mask on themselves first. We've been taught that, no, you have to take care of everybody else above yourself. But if you pass out, or you're not feeling good, or you're not in a peaceful state of mind, how are you supposed to be there for anybody else in an authentic way? So we've got to take care of ourselves. It's loving, and it's empowering, and it's compassionate. And the idea that that would be selfish is just a false limiting belief. Okay. So how do you use transformational language? Well, when I was, 17, 18, about 33 years ago, I had a job where I was selling vacuum cleaners. Now, of course, they were called home cleaning systems. And my manager was named Carl. And Carl was an interesting guy. He was an entrepreneur and a very motivated guy. First one I ever really met, right? Because I grew up we were kind of a blue collar working class. Everybody I knew worked in the steel mill. And so all the dads worked in the steel mill. And so I didn't really know any entrepreneurs. And I remember I would walk in and Carl would come up to me and he'd say, "Tim, how you feeling?" And I'd be like, "I'm all right." And he's like, "No, you're fantastic." And I'd be like, "All right, Carl." I just thought he was weird, right? But every day he would do the same thing. I'd walk in and he's like, "Hey, Tim, how you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm good." And he's like, "No, you're fantastic." And after a couple of weeks, I started to get the hint, right? So I would walk in and Carl would say, "Tim, how you doing?" And I'd be like, "Carl, I'm fantastic." He's like, "Yeah, you are." And then I would go and I would sell a whole bunch of these vacuum cleaners. And they were like $1,300 vacuum cleaners. That was a lot of money back in the late 80s, early 90s, $1,300 for a vacuum cleaner. That's got a lot of money now, right? But back then, that was a whole lot of money. That's like buying a $4,000 vacuum cleaner. And I was selling them like hotcakes because I had this belief that I was because Carl taught me how to focus on what I want, how to say it as though it's already true, and how to speak with emotion so that I might not be feeling that way, but I could feel that way if I started acting as if I already did feel that way. Did you follow that? And so when he said, "How you feeling?" and I said, "Fantastic." Now, again, at first I was skeptical. I thought that was silly. I didn't understand what he was doing. right? But as I kept saying, I feel fantastic, and I just kept saying it over and over, a couple weeks later, I realized I am feeling fantastic, and I am selling a ton of these home cleaning systems. And that was really my first introduction to the power of words, to the power of language. Words have emotions. When you say words like hate or love or lust or sin, or if we say names like Adolf Hitler, right? Or, if we say names like the Dalai Lama, or Jesus Christ, we have emotions that come up with those names and with those words, right? So if you say calm or ease, or you say stress and anxiety, you have different emotional responses. You have different chemicals, neurotransmitters that are released in your brain that influence how you feel, both mentally, emotionally, and physically. I guess that's 3, not 2, right? So it's influencing you in all those ways. How you feel and how you behave is all being influenced by how you physically feel and how you mentally and emotionally feel. So if we could influence that, which we can, that would be a game changer. See, most of us are walking around saying words and phrases that are causing us stress and tension, and we don't even know that we're doing that. That's our blind spots. So if you're interested in learning about your blind spots, which are behaviors that we complain about, and we're the ones causing those, creating those behaviors, or there's problems that we have in our life, and we've kind of created a lot of those problems, or at least the stress that goes around it. And but we don't even know that we did that. That's called a blind spot. It's out of our awareness that we're part of the problem. And so I did a live stream on that if you want to check that out. So what we want to do is pay attention to the words that we're using. For example, if I say, how you doing? And you say, well, I'm not feeling as stressed as I have been. What's the one word that you really used to describe your situation? Stressed, right? I'm feeling a lot less stressed. Well, whether you say I'm feeling a lot less stressed or I'm really stressed, your brain hears the word stressed, and that's what it reacts to. It reacts to the word stress. If I say you're not going to feel any pain, what's the one word you hear? Pain, right? If I say you're not going to feel any pain at all, it's going to be painless. Your brain still hears pain, and that's what it acts on. If I say don't think of kicking a dog, you think of kicking a dog. If I say don't think of a blue elephant, you think of a blue elephant, right? Because that's what we're focusing on. Most people focus on what they're trying to get away from, but because they're focusing on that, that's what they move towards. What you focus on expands. If you're trying to kill weeds and all you're focused on are the weeds, you end up with more weeds, or you kill all the grass. We should be focusing on growing flowers or having greener, healthier grass. When people want to improve their health, they focus on losing weight. When people focus on losing weight, immediately your energy drops. Oh, I got to deprive myself. I got to eat rabbit food. I got to kill myself on a treadmill, right? Immediately we start thinking I can't have any of my favorite foods. We start feeling deprived. And immediately we've associated so much pain to losing weight that we don't, which is why 99% of dieters fail to achieve their goal. 99%. Would you go to a school that had a 99% dropout rate? Of course not. But that's what we tend to do because the approach is broken. The approach isn't effective because whoever designed it didn't understand how the human mind works. Well, I spent 32 years learning about us and our mind and what drives behavior. And so what we want to do is focus on what we want. So if I was helping someone improve their health, we would focus on having a slender body, having more energy and vitality, and living life in a vivacious way where you're feeling healthy and authentic, and you love this healthy eating lifestyle that you're now a part of, because that feels pleasurable and good, and it feels good. Listen to the words that I was using, right? Pleasurable, vivacious, energizing, right? An enjoyable quality of life. I'm not talking about what you're going to be deprived of and what you can't have and how hard it's going to be and how frustrating it's going to be, because those words create a lot of adrenaline and cortisol, stress hormones that cause us to feel icky inside. And if you feel icky inside while you're talking about a goal or some kind of new behavioral change, you're going to naturally procrastinate. You're going to push it away because you don't want to feel icky, right? But when you're talking using transformational language and pleasurable words that evoke pleasurable emotions like calm, confidence, joy, happiness, peace, you associate those words and those feelings to behaviors, goals, and actions, you're going to naturally feel motivated to move in that direction. And that's why you get the results that you want, because you're using transformational language. It makes you feel good now. And because it drives you in a positive way, it makes you feel good down the road also. Would you like to be in more situations where you get to feel good now and you get to feel good later? Yes, you would, right? Because our brain is always trying to create more pleasure and avoid pain. So it would naturally motivate you to move in this direction. So I want to share with you some words that will help you and use the power of your mind to create your life by design. We're going to use more transformational language. So instead of saying I'm feeling less stressed, you would say I'm feeling more calm, or I'm feeling more relaxed. Now your brain hears relaxed and calm, and you feel more of that. Instead of saying I'm feeling rushed, you could say I'm accelerated. I'm moving with acceleration. If you, instead of saying I'm busy, say I'm in demand, right? Yeah, you're busy, but that's because you're talented and you're smart and you're powerful and you're resourceful and you're creative. And if you didn't have anything to do, you'd be bored. So it's better to be in demand, right, than be bored and not have anything to do. So all of a sudden it's like, yeah, that's right. And then instead of feeling stressed with all the stuff you have to do, you're feeling more calm and resourceful, because you're like, well, it just means that I'm smart and I'm creative and I'm living life to the fullest. I'm in the game. I'm not on the sidelines. See how I'm describing it to myself? I'm describing it in a way where you feel good, where you feel proud of yourself. You feel like you're engaged. You feel like no matter what situation you're in, you can thrive in that situation, because it's not the situation. It's what we tell ourselves about the situation that really influences how we feel. Okay. So you have the ability to influence yourself and influence how you feel using transformational language. So in my book, Get Out of Your Way, this is, I think it's the third edition. I just released this third edition, so it's updated. In it, on page, let me see, where is it? Chapter 6, talking yourself into success or failure, right? In there, I talk about transformational language, and I have some examples for you that I wanted to share. Okay, so examples of what to do and what to avoid. Okay, so let's say that I'm your customer and you just sold me something, and I say thank you, and you say no problem or no worries. Well, what are the words that my brain just heard as a customer? Problems and worries. That's why American Express and Chick-fil-A trained all their people to say my pleasure. Do you want the last thing your customers think about or feel when they're looking right at you? Do you want them to be thinking about problems and worries, or do you want them to think about pleasure? If I feel pleasure when I'm working with you or buying from you, I'm going to keep buying from you. If my brain associates problems and worries when I'm working with you, I'm going to go buy from somebody else. Okay, so we can build trust and loyalty by using transformational language. Instead of saying no pain, I would say you're going to feel more comfortable in just a moment. Okay, instead of saying less stressed, more calm. Instead of saying I'm so tired, you might say, excuse me, I'd say I'm conserving energy. Conserving energy. Your mind hears energy instead of tired. People walk around all the time. I'm so tired. I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired. I'm so busy. I'm so tired. I'm so busy. I'm so tired. And when you look at them, they look like they're 20 years older than they really are. Well, that's because they're walking around telling themselves I'm busy and tired. Now, they might say, well, I'm just describing how I'm feeling. Well, maybe because of how you keep describing situations, it's causing you to feel that way, right? You've got it flipped around. Because of what you're saying about situations, that's maybe causing you to not sleep well, or you're eating a bunch of junk and then your body spends all night trying to get that poison out of you instead of recharging, rejuvenating, and regenerating, noticing the words, right? We associate junk to the junk food. And when you're sleeping good, you're rejuvenating, recharging, re-energizing, so that when you wake up, you feel refreshed and rested. And then you're going to feel more calm and more energized. You're going to be able to focus easier and follow through, as opposed to feeling tired and busy and stressed. And then, then that kind of language is like putting a hole in your bucket. and it just drains you. No matter how much you pour in that bucket, it just drains you out. Stop trying to fill your bucket. Fix the hole in the bucket first. And you can do that with transformational language. Okay. Anxious versus energized. You know, when people feel nervous and anxiety, that's just adrenaline, right? That same adrenaline can also be used as energy. You know, I used to be afraid of public speaking, and now I'm a top motivational speaker, right? But I used to be terrified of public speaking. And what I would do is get on that stage and feel that adrenaline and tell myself it's anxiety and worry. And then it would just cause me to focus on, oh, I'm going to blow it. I'm going to freeze up. I'm going to be humiliated. And of course, I'm telling myself, I'm scaring myself. I wasn't preparing myself. Then I realized that that was just adrenaline, and I could use it as the juice to get me up there so that I could drive that energy and enthusiasm into every single person in the audience, even if there's 5,000 people in the crowd. And so now that fear, F-E-A-R, stands for false evidence appearing real and feeling excited and ready. So now I'm juiced. When I feel that adrenaline and my heart's pounding and those butterflies are flying in formation, that's just the energy that gets me to go out there and over deliver every single time. So I've changed how I described it. So I went from anxious to energized. Okay. Instead of how you feeling, and you say, oh, not bad. Well, your brain still hears bad. Okay. You could say pretty good. You know, if I had a tail, it'd be wagging. If I felt any better, I'd have to be twins. So start paying attention to what you're saying to yourself. I really like this one, the rushed versus a state of acceleration, moving with purpose. You know, I like those phrases. I got one more story that I actually heard Tony Robbins tell. He said him and two of his friends were in this company, and they had just got ripped off by another company. And the three of them were in this conference room, and they were really heated. And one of the guys was charging around the room, pacing around the table, and he's going, I'm furious. I'm furious. I'm going to kill somebody. And he was like really over the top. And then they're like, how are you feeling? And Tony says, I'm angry. I am just really, really angry. You know, and Tony was feeling really angry. And then they looked at their third friend and they said, how are you feeling? And the guy says, well, I'm pretty peeved. And Tony was like, peeved? And he actually started laughing. He said it was a pattern interrupt. He actually started laughing because, I mean, really, how angry can you get when you're peeved? I'm so peeved, right? It just seems weird. And it actually breaks your state. And he said that was a very powerful lesson for him. Tony said that because he recognized that his one friend was so escalated because he was using these escalated words. I'm going to kill somebody, right? And it made him feel so angry that he was out of control. And then Tony was feeling angry and furious, right? But that wasn't empowering him. Usually when we're angry, we make bad choices. And so that was not putting him in a resource state. And that's Tony's whole thing, is get yourself into a resource state. And that wasn't helping. And then his friend talking about being peeved. And so he realized that when you change the words to describe how you feel about a situation, it changes how you feel about that situation. And you have the ability with a little bit of practice to change the words. You could say, how else could I describe my situation? What other words could I use to describe how I'm feeling right now? And so those are some excellent examples of how you can do this. All right. Hi, Tiffany. Good to see you. Thanks for being with me today. Yes, we all need to continually be updating our language. And it starts with self-awareness. We don't know what we don't know. And then once you know, then you're like, oh, I'm going to try that out. And then you're like, whoa, that really works. And then we keep practicing until it becomes automatic, what we call a habit. And so we want to continue to improve our habits so that it's just a part of who we are. We don't have to really think about it that much. We just show up in this new way. And so paying attention to the words that we use are vital because they influence how you feel. Now, again, I'm going to reinforce the three things you want to do when you're using transformational language. I went through them really quickly in the beginning of the video, but I'm going to go through them again real quick. So when you're describing a situation to yourself, be outcome focused, right? Focus on the outcome that you're moving towards, not what you're trying to move away from. Too many of us focus on what we're trying to move away from. Right? We're trying to get away from a problem instead of moving towards a solution. Imagine your brain is like a GPS. Okay. So I got my phone, I got a GPS in here, and I say, well, I don't want to say it because it'll turn it on, but hey, computer, you know, if I tell it, don't take me to the post office and don't take me to the grocery store and don't take me to the movies, what's it going to do? it's going to say getting directions to the post office, because that's what it heard. Because I didn't tell it where I wanted to go. I kept telling it what I didn't want. And that's what we do in our mind. We focus on what we don't want, what we don't like, what we don't have, what we're unhappy about. And what you focus on expands. So it's like driving down a road and you start swerving. There's nothing to run into except for a telephone pole, 500 feet down the road. And you look at that pole and what do you say? Just don't hit the pole. Just don't hit the pole. And then what do? You run right into that darn pole, right? Because that's what we were focused on. Instead of saying, stay on the road, stay on the road, stay on the road. I'm safe, stay on the road. And then guess what? We stay on the road and we get through it. And that's how it is with everything that happens in life, right? As long as we're staying calm, focused on the solution that we want, and encouraging ourselves and being loving to ourselves, using our mind to prepare us rather than scare us, we always end up getting where we want to go. If you haven't got to where you want to go yet, then it ain't over. Just keep on going and eventually you'll get there. Okay. So we want to focus on the solution. So instead of saying, I don't want to go here, here, and here, I would say, hey, computer, take me to my friend's house. And then boom, take me to Bob's house, right? And then boom, we would go, take me to Tiffany's house. Boom, we would go to Tiffany's house, right? And so it would know where to go because we were very clear and specific on the outcome that we wanted. Okay, so number 2, we want to be present tense. We want to speak present tense. When there's something that you want, state it as though it's already true. Speak with the future in your voice. So speak as if it's already a done deal. If you say, I want to have more energy, I want to lose weight, I want to make more money, your brain will say, good for you. But because you think that you don't have those things, it implies you don't. So that's what we're going to manifest, more of not having it. Right? That's what we mean by having a scarcity mindset instead of a prosperity mindset. And we don't even know we're doing it, right? So what we want to say instead is, I have money flowing into my life right now, and it is good. I have a thinner, healthier, more energized body right now, and I love eating healthy energy food right now, and it feels good. Now, part of your mind might say, you don't have any money. You're not eating, you just ate cake. Okay. But again, you keep focusing on what you want as though it's already true, because your mind can only start to create what it thinks is already real, already true. So when you imagine yourself the way that you want to be as though you're already this way, then your mind starts working 24 hours a day at an unconscious level to make that happen. Often by just causing you to pay attention to new information that you did not pay attention to before. And that new information will take you to those opportunities that you want. They'll draw them into your life. You'll take a step towards what you want, and what you want will take a step towards you because you're kind of tuned into that energy. Prosperity isn't something that you have, it's something that you tune into, like a radio station. So we want to make sure that we are tuning into what we want. You want to listen to jazz or hip hop or country or rock or classic. Well, you got to tune into that station. So we got to make sure, if I want to listen to hip hop and I'm tuning into a station that's country, well, I'm not going to get what I want. So I got to tune into what I want. You got to tune into what you want, and then you'll start to get it. So you act as if you're already the way that you want to be. And then the third part of it is to use your power words. And we've talked about that. So, someone's printing. The joys of working from home. Okay. So you also want to use those power words. So make sure you're using words that empower you. I'll tell you just real quick. I was leading a class and I said, you know what? We can be intentional about how we feel by just deciding, today I'm going to feel playful. Today I'm going to feel creative. Today I'm going to be authentic. Today I'm going to have, a sense of creativity, right? And why don't we go and we'll Google 50 emotions, and then you pick a new emotion that you want to feel, because we tend to have 5 emotions that we cycle through all the time, right? And so pick a new emotion. Maybe you want to be exuberant today, right? You pick a new emotion. And so, and then every day pick a new emotion for 7 days and watch how your life, transforms. So I decided that I was going to do that too. So I downloaded 50 emotions, and I would say that about 40 out of the 50 emotions described what we would say are negative emotions. 40 of them, 40 out of 50, like 80% of the emotions that people have used to describe feelings, describe negative feelings, hurt, anger, mistrust, stress, things like that. And no wonder so many people are feeling stressed and anxious and resentful and feeling like they're missing something in life, even if they're not sure what it is, or always feeling like the grass is greener on the other side. It's because we've been trained to do that, right? To focus on what we don't have and what we don't want, instead of focusing on using transformational language to create the feelings that we want to have right now. You don't need anything different outside of your life for you to feel different right now, for you to feel empowered right now. And then as you continue to use this transformational language, it shifts how you feel on the inside, and how you feel on the inside reflects what happens on the outside. In the Jewish teaching book, the Talmud, it says, you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. So as you're using transformational language and you're speaking as though it's already true, then what will happen is you'll start to think, feel, and behave in a new way that actually creates this lifestyle, this health, this energy, this prosperity, whatever it is that you desire, healthier, happier relationships. It starts to attract it into your life. And it's just fun. It feels good. And you have the ability to take a bad day and turn it into a better day. You have the ability to shift and turn on a dime and feel more calm and confident regardless of what's going on. Because as you know, it doesn't matter what shows up. What matters is how you show up. So, all right, let me see here. Does affect procrastination, holding yourself back from moving ahead? Yes. Remember, procrastination is just when we've associated pain or discomfort to a goal or to a behavior that would get us to the goal. So if we think it's going to be hard, or it's going to be boring, or it's going to be emotionally grueling in some way, or we're going to be deprived, our brain says, yuck, I don't want to do that. So not only does it push away from that activity that will get you what you want, but once you push away from it, you actually feel better. And now you've anchored pain to the goal and pleasure to procrastinating, right? Which is the exact opposite of what you want. So we've got to usually do two things in that situation. One, upgrade the self-limiting belief that is causing us to show up in that way and focus on what we don't want. We got to update our beliefs more than anything else. Then we can update our language, but try to update your beliefs first. And if you need help with that, that's, the Get Out of Your Way book will teach you how to do that. The One Belief Away book will teach you how to do that. You can get both those books on Amazon, and they will start to teach you how to turn that around. If you want faster help, then reach out to my office, and you can go to timsher.com or indiehypnosis.com and schedule a free consultation, and I'll help you with that. Or you could do a coaching session, and I'll help you turn it around if you want to do it fast as possible. So, but the first thing we would do is upgrade the beliefs. The second thing we would do is start to associate pleasure to that behavior or to those activities. And the way you do that is imagine jumping to the end result and noticing how good that feels, right? So I might want to have a clean kitchen. I don't want to do the dishes. I'm procrastinating on the dishes. If I focus on washing dishes, I'm going to be like, I don't want to do that. But if I focus on having a clean kitchen and a clean sink and everything feels clean and relaxed and peaceful, I like that feeling. So I take that feeling and I wash a fork, and then I wash a spoon, and then I wash a plate, and then I wash a glass, and then I wash a bowl, and now I'm washing, so I wash all the dishes, and then boom, I have that clean kitchen, which next time reinforces that good feeling of having a clean kitchen, and I'm not procrastinating anymore. I'm just jumping in. So you can use that strategy for anything. I've used it to get myself to do my taxes. There's not too many things more boring than doing taxes or standing, being on a treadmill for hours and hours. So what you do instead is you jump to the end, you make it fun. You think about the energy that you're going to feel from doing your fitness. If you're on that treadmill, watch a movie, watch a part of a Netflix show, or listen to an audiobook while you're on that treadmill. So you're empowering your mind and your body. If it's taxes, focus on having them done and off your desk, and a clean desk, and getting a tax refund. That feels good. So you're associating pleasure, and you're jumping to the pleasure instead of getting caught up in, thinking about the pain. Does that make sense? So yeah. All right, good. Okay. Well, that's it for now. That's our masterclass. Every Wednesday, I do these short 30-minute masterclasses that will teach you how to use the power of your mind to create your life by design. If you're more interested in our other tools and strategies, go to timsher.com or go to indiehypnosis.com, and then you'll be able to find all the resources that we have. Or you can always reach out to me, tim@timsher.com. And, we can chat and see how we can make your life, the rest of your life, the best of your life. So thanks so much for being a sure success. And we'll talk to you soon, and have a great day. And Tiffany, thanks for being with me.